my name is Giovanni. Welcome back to my small cubicle of the internet. Sit down, relax, there's snacks. And today I want to do an update video on the video I made a few months ago when I was put on the do not rehire list by an organization in New Jersey. Look, you gotta stick to your guts when you are a nurse, okay? Or any field in business, but I'm gonna share my perspective as a nurse. You have to stick to your guts. I was put on the do not rehire list because I went to a hospital assignment where I knew within the first week that this was not gonna work. I kind of knew in the first day, but you always kind of have that feeling when you're in a new hospital and they start, sharing certain rules and protocols, and you're like, ooh, this is gonna be a little rough. But you always get that feeling and you kind of just push past it. You have to kind of just learn the flow of that hospital. But I knew that it was not gonna work when I did not feel safe. I cannot stand feeling like my license is in jeopardy, and I knew that it just wasn't gonna work. So after my first week, I put my 2-week notice in, and basically to just give you guys a refresher, I was put on do not rehire because within that first week I had called off, I think the Sunday for the next week, because I was just feeling absolutely sick. It was just like my body was stressing out. And then I think I ended up calling off one other time in between that too. It was bad. So they wanted me to make up those days by me staying another week because I didn't give them the full, 2 weeks or whatever the case may be. They said I was missing days. First of all, I don't have to make up my sick days to you. Okay? I was sick. I called off and I gave you my 2-week notice, but I don't owe you back those sick days. Put on do not rehire. Now I have a girlfriend who is working in the same organization at the same time. She's telling me that she is feeling sick. She's not feeling this contract same as I, but she said, I was just going to stick through it for 13 weeks. She's just trying to tough it out. I get it. So a week after I got put on do not rehire, she got put on do not rehire. And I want to share this story, okay? So my poor friend, she went to work that day already knowing this assignment is rough. It's not really working for her, but she did what she had to do. She gets report on this patient, okay? She gets report on this patient who is a high elopement risk, meaning this patient is trying to leave the hospital and it's unsafe for them to do so. They are not in this cognitive state of mind to be released of their own free will. Okay, so when you're put on elopement risk, you have someone who's watching you 24/7. They're literally in the room. We call them sitters, and they're there to keep you safe while the nurse is able to help her assignment of patients. Well, this particular patient was taken off of the elopement risk during nighttime. Okay, so the patient's taken off elopement risk. There's no sitter by the time my friend gets her to her assignment at 7, and she's getting report. All right, cool. So she starts passing medications around 9 o'clock. In the hospital, you will see nurses kind of passing meds between 9 or 10. And the hospital we were working at, you can get started from 8, and then you can pass from 8 to 10. So she got report, she's seen all her patients. She's going between the med room and different patients' rooms to pass medications. Now, while she's with another patient, I think she was either with another patient in the medication room, a doctor is looking for her. So she comes out in the hallway, she finds the doctor who's looking for her, and it's a psych doctor who's asking where the patient is that was the high-risk elopement. Okay, so she's like, the patient should be in their room. And the doctor's like, the patient's not. The psych doctor is like, the patient's not in their room. Now, I'm not sure if this psych doctor was doing an evaluation. I think he was. So my concern is, why was this patient taken off of elopement risk in the middle of the night before the psych doctor got a chance to evaluate the patient? So now the psych doctor is clearly pissed off because the patient's not in the room. My friend is like, I don't know what's going on. I'm passing medications right now. So she goes to the room and sees the patient's not there. We look in the hallway, patient's not there. She goes to the charge nurse. Charge nurse didn't even know where the patient went. CNA, nobody know where the patient went. They call security. Security's like, oh, we haven't seen no patient in the hallway. We don't know what you're talking about. They check the cameras. They can't even find the patient. Patient gone. Okay? Patient has left the building. Patient waited till med pass and left the building. Tell me why they decided to blame my friend on this patient eloping. Now, this is particularly messed up because if I was in this situation, oh no, this was not gonna happen. So the charge nurse should have been held liable. Okay, being in the hallway, your charge. I think actually in this case, I don't know if the charge had an assignment or not. In this hospital, they're known for giving charges 6 patients, which really means you don't have a charge, a dedicated charge. So good luck, essentially. So I'm not sure if the charge was at the desk or had an assignment, but it wouldn't surprise me if the charge had an assignment because that's usually how they do it. But you're still liable. You're still charged. CNAs could be liable too if you know, are taking care of the patient. The nurse could be liable. Security, where is security? Why is no one not seeing where the patient is? Why is there no cameras? And so now at this point, the supervisor is being informed. Supervisor comes to the unit. She's pissed off. They need someone to blame. So they tell my friend that starting immediately, she's going to be taken off the schedule. So she had work the next day. She's pissed off. She's like, what are you talking about? Like, I have bills to pay. What do you mean? And they're like, no, we're taking out the schedule till we do an internal investigation. So at this point, my friend is sick to her stomach. She is just like, I've never been put in this situation before. Rightfully so. She should have blamed everyone. She should have blamed whoever took this patient off of elopement risk. My guess is sometimes they will literally take a patient off of elopement risk or sitters when they need that aid to just go on another floor. They're short aids, so they have to pull from sitters. And if you pull before that patient has been evaluated to make sure the patient is safe to be taken off elopement risk, really you should have been held liable. But they put it on my friend. And so after this whole situation, she was so sick to her stomach, she didn't even want to answer the phone call. She didn't want to talk to the agency, who's like the middle person between the hospital and her. She didn't want to talk to the supervisor for the hospital. She didn't want to talk to nobody. She just cut all ties because she could not believe how quickly they threw her under the bus. I tried to encourage her to still stick it out. Do not burn any bridges, because she didn't know for sure if she was going to be put on do not rehire. And it is a big institution in where we're living. So I was just like, girl, let them burn a bridge. You don't burn the bridge. But she was just so upset and just sick to her stomach about the whole situation. She just didn't talk to anyone. And for sure, she got put on do not rehire. But again, this is why you got to stick to your guts, because I knew where I was working and I knew this was not going to work out. That could have been me. That was the week they wanted me to extend to make up my sick days. And that could have been me thrown under the bus because they needed someone to blame. And instead of really blaming whoever took the patient off elopement risk before the psych doctor got to see the patient, they throw it on the traveler because it's just easier to do that. Just throw it on the contracted worker. So I hope you guys enjoyed my follow-up story. If you were put on do not rehire, so what? There's other jobs, there's other hospitals. Keep your license safe. I'm actually thinking about working for this institution or this corporation for another location. And I know they would hire me back because they literally were begging me to work for them for corporate. Inner cities just come with a certain demographic, certain level of professionalism, certain level of, things that you have to learn to navigate through. So, yeah. But again, if you've been put on do not rehire, does not mean you're down and out for the organization. So we'll see what comes of that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, stay tuned for my next one. And I will see you later. Bye.
Loving natural patina. Year long evergreen is amazing.